I'm going to be ranking the best budget cards right now in NBA 2K23 Mod Team. We have a tier list here ranking from S that goes all the way down to D tier, and we have about 35 of the best budget cards in the game. In my opinion, I think the budget price range is about any card under 25,000 MT. Most likely though, all these cards will be around 5 to 15,000, with some cards maybe being 25, 27,000 MT. But let me know in the comment section down below your guys' favorite budget cards and what budget cards you guys are currently running on your squad. But the first budget card here on the tier list is going to be Aaron Gordon. I would say he's probably somewhere in that B tier category. I don't think he's like an amazing budget card in A or S tier, but then I also don't think he's a bad budget card in C or D. There's going to be a lot of cards worse than Aaron Gordon in my opinion on this list. So for me personally, I'm gonna go B tier. I think he's actually pretty underrated at the 2. He's 6'8" with a 6'11" wingspan. Amazing to go into the basket, is such a good slasher, 99 driving dunk, 98 vertical, and has amazing athleticism stats. But the craziest thing about this Aaron Gordon card is probably his defense. Like, they gave him very good defensive stats, and he does have a couple on Hall of Fame as well for the defensive badges. So for me personally, I think Aaron Gordon is a good spot to put in B tier. AK-47, I think he's just a tad bit outdated with his SIGs, and I'll show you guys the perfect example here in a second with the Jeremy Shohan right behind him. So AK, yes, is still a very good defender. He's 6'9" at the 3. You know, he has a 7-foot wingspan, really good player model, amazing defensive stats, 97 block, 97 steal, 96 perimeter, and a 94 interior defense. He's still going to provide you really good defense, but offensively his jump shot isn't great in my opinion. It's a little bit hard to time, but he has no dribble sigs and no good dunk packages, where if you compare him to a card like Jeremy Shohan, who just recently came out and is like that 3-and-D type of card, where, you know, Jeremy Shohan, just like AK, is going to be playable for their defense and their athleticism stats. So you take a look at the animations, jump shot probably about the same. I would say maybe I like Jeremy Shohan's release a little bit more, but dribble sigs, that's the biggest difference. He's got the Steve Francis size up, the Kobe Bryant escape, the Dame behind the back, so he can actually move at a very high level. And then he's also got the front clutches, and he's got some really good dunk packages. So I think Jeremy Shohan is just the better AK-47, kind of just like the new and updated version of him. So I would say Jeremy Shohan for me personally is probably going to be in either B or A tier. I think for now I'll keep him in B tier, but maybe he does get moved up to A tier later in the video. Nicholas Batum, I mean, I low-key want to go D tier because I don't think he's even on the same level as an AK. I think I'll put him in C tier for now, but I really don't think that card's really good. Same thing with Blake Griffin. I think I want to move him down to D tier. Is that crazy to say? Because I think AK is a better card than Blake Griffin and Nicholas Batum. I mean, Blake's just got such a bad release and is not the greatest of defenders. Batum is a really good all-around card. It's just his jump shot, kind of like Blake, really lets him down. So I think I'm gonna go both those cards in B tier. Maybe they do get moved around here later in the video. Pink Diamond Luke Walton, I think he's gonna be our first S tier budget card. Such an elite 6'8" point guard. And guys, I do think S tier is gonna be my top 5 budget cards in the game, and I definitely think Luke Walton is a top 5 budget card. Great jump shot, all around great defense. I think he's one of the best budget cards in the game. Diamond Boban is really hard to rank because he's got 25 speed and 25 acceleration, but then on the flip side of that, he's 7'4" with a 7'8" wingspan and one of the best paint mashers and just all around defenders underneath the basket. But it's just hard to put a card above C tier with only 25 speed and 25 acceleration. I think as a card in game, they probably are better than a Batum and a Blake Griffin, just because you can be super dominant with him down low, and he's really hard to stop unless you have a Yao Ming, a Taco, Mark Eden, and he can be very glitchy on the offensive end. So I think for that reason alone, just because he is somewhat unstoppable compared to like Blake and Nicholas Batum, who really do nothing well or nothing like at a super high level, I think I'll go Boban in the C tier category. Alex Caruso, I'm gonna probably go B tier, a very underrated budget card in the game right now. I think he's an amazing rim runner. I mean, the card just feels so fast in game. Like, his movement is really good. Like, did they give him good dribble sigs? They gave him some pretty good sigs, but for whatever reason, this card's bursts are amazing. He's got good tendencies, all around really good defensive stats. He's just going to be a very solid defender. He's 6'5", plays really good defense, and going to be amazing at going to the basket. I think he's probably going to be in B tier. Alongside him in B is going to be, I think, the Bob Nedelecki. I mean, he's still a great 6'9" power forward. I know Ty ran him in the 250K, not the actual tournament, but like that rejects tournament that Ty, Splash, and DBG ran. So I think he actually ran Bob Nedelecki or something. I remember watching Ty use Bob in like a tournament or something, and I'm not just basing it off that. I just think Bob is not a bad power forward. I would say he's probably in B tier. There is going to be a lot of B tier budget cards, I will say, including Cameron Reddish. Has a great jump shot. He's 6'8" at the 2. I don't think you could throw him A tier. I think he's a little bit not a liability on defense, but he doesn't have the best sigs and he's not going to be the best defender. So I think for me, you got to go Cameron Reddish and B tier. Now I will say our first A tier budget card is going to be this Deadlift Shrimp card. I don't know why he is so cheap. Like, this card is such good. He's so good for his value. He's 6'10" at the 3 with a 7-foot wingspan. I mean, the card is a beast all around, stats and badges wise. He's got tons of Hall of Fame shooting badges, but it's when you come to the animation screen, they gave him some amazing dribble sigs for your 6'10" small forward. He's got the Garland size up, wall escape. It's two of the best escapes and size ups in the game. He's also got a very capable jump shot, normal leaner, Dame behind the back, and then he also does have really good dunk packages for a Deadlift Shrimp card. So I think he's going to be our first A tier budget card, maybe even in that S tier category. Talking about Claxton, I think he's underrated, man. I'm going Claxton in probably my A tier category. I think he's super underrated. I think I'm also going to move Jeremy Shohan up into A tier. But yeah, Claxton, a very good defender. He's one of the best budget bigs in the game because we really don't have too many great budget bigs. So I think I'll also move Jeremy Shohan into the A tier category. I do think he's better than pretty much every card in B tier right now. Marcus Smart, a very good defensive point guard. I think he goes in B tier, very similar to a card like Caruso, but he has a way better jump shot than Caruso, in my opinion. Like, defensively, just like Caruso, going to be an absolute beast. He's also pretty good at going to the rim. I mean, he's not going to be the greatest rim runner, but he does have good sigs with that D-mid size up, and I really like the card's jump shot, always in my team. I feel like he's got a really smooth jump shot. So for me, Marcus Smart, I think I'm gonna put him in the B tier category for now. Danny Advia, I'm probably mispronouncing his name. I think because he's 6'9", you still most likely got to put him in A tier. I mean, if you wanted to put him in B, I think that's fair, but he's 6'9", plays really good defense in game, and with the meta of the game being, you know, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", 11 point guards, you sometimes want to have that Denny card compared to a Caruso or a Marcus Smart, who's only 6'5" or 6'4". Dion Waiters, I think you got to go C tier. I mean, not a bad budget card. I think he's better than a Batum and better than a Blake Griffin, but really doesn't, you know, pop off the charts in my opinion. So I think for me, he's going to be in C tier. Eddie Curry, I mean, it's a difficult card to rank because he is one of the best budget centers in the game, but that's just because there's no good budget center. So as an overall card on a tier list, I don't think he can be higher than B tier. Now, if we're talking about for his position, then he's probably either A or S tier, just because he's one of the best budget bigs in the game. But I think overall as a card, I think you probably got to go B tier. Evan Turner, another kind of just Denny type of card. You know, he's 6'7", plays really good defense, has a capable jump shot. I do think he's probably going to be an A tier. Gary Payton, I would say he's slightly better than a Caruso and a Marcus Smart. So I think he's kind of that one step up. He's only 6'4", just like Smart, but his defense is really good. And I do prefer his jump shot over Smart's. And he's also got better dribble sigs with the Trae Young escape, and he does have the Trae Young leaner as well. So I think for me, Gary Payton is kind of just that one step up above a Caruso and a Marcus Smart. Now Diop, once again, I think for his position is probably an S tier, just because he is the best budget center in the game, in my opinion. For a card under 25,000 MT for the center spot, I do think he's the best in the game. So I'll throw Diop in S tier for now, just because I'm taking the fact that he is the best budget center in the game. So I think he's probably got to go in S tier, but we'll see later in the video. Herb Jones, I kind of want to go A tier. I think Herb is really, really good. I think I'm going to go A tier. I think Herb is really solid, very underrated at the 2, and a very good defender. Next card is going to be Josh Smith. He's got to go D tier. I mean, this card, I will say, if he had a better jump shot, would most likely be an A, maybe even S tier category. He's that good of a card all around. His stats and badges are damn near perfect. He's got really good dunk packages. He's even got okay sigs, but this jump shot is just so terrible in my opinion. Like, I think it's so hard to green and just so inconsistent. So for that reason, he's got to go in my D tier spot. Lance Stevenson, I would say, is probably high C tier. I don't think he's as good as Caruso or Marcus Smart. I would definitely take these two cards over him at the point guard position, but I think he's solid, going to be probably in my high C tier category. Al Horford, I think you probably got to give A. Maybe he goes down to B. I'm not exactly sure. I think all of these cards in A tier, though, are kind of on the same level. Matisse Thybulle, he might be S tier. I think I'm going to keep Matisse Thybulle in A tier for now, but he might get moved up to S tier later in the video. Just kind of want to see what other cards we have on this list. But Matisse is super underrated at the point guard spot. He's 6'5" and plays very elite defense. Darius Miles, I think, is really good. I'm going to go B tier for Miles. I think some of these cards in A are just slightly better than him. I think I might move Claxton down to B tier. I think I'm gonna go Claxton down to B. I like him a lot, but I do think some of these cards are a little bit better. I'm trying to balance out the tier list a little bit more. I think I'll keep it like this for now. But yeah, Darius Miles, really good at going to the rim. And I think MPJ is also going to be on that B tier level. Not an amazing small forward. He's got a pretty inconsistent jump shot. Not my favorite release in the game, but he does have some pretty good sigs, and he is 6'10" at the small forward position. Now, Jabari Parker, I do think is better than an MPJ and a Darius Miles. Not by a crazy amount. I mean, I think some people do get it kind of confused a little bit, so maybe I should explain it more. These tiers are not huge gaps. So A tier to B tier is like very slightly. So for example, you know, Gary Payton I think is slightly better than Crusoe. I think Jabari Parker is slightly better than a Darius Miles. So I'm not saying, you know, A tier is so much better than B tier. Now S tier compared to C, yeah, that's a pretty big difference, but one tier above, you know, above each other, especially A and B tier, there's not a huge gap, because I can't put every card in A tier, or it wouldn't really be a balanced tier list. So gotta kind of put some cards that I think are slightly better. So if you want to say Crusoe is better than a Gary Payton or a Denny, or even a Matisse Thybulle, that is fair to say, or even a Evan Turner, or you want to say Darius Miles is better than a Jabari Parker, that is fair to say. It's just like, I just want to say it's super slight. So don't think like A and B tier is like a massive difference, and I'm saying Jabari Parker is way better than Darius Miles. I just think he's kind of that one step above, but very, very close at the small forward position. Pascal Siakam, another decent small forward. I would probably go B tier. Plays good defense, jump shots a little bit inconsistent, but all around I would say he's probably in B tier. RJ Barrett, I think you got to put on the same tier as Cameron Reddish. I mean, they both got great releases. RJ is a little bit smaller, but a bit better offensively for me personally. So I think they're both going to be in B tier. Poku, easy S. I don't think that's even a debate. Now, he is probably the most expensive card on this tier list. He's about 28 to 30,000 MT, but I still think you got to consider him as a budget card. He's 7 foot at the small forward position, has a capable jump shot, overall amazing stats. Like, he's got 90 in every single category. Anthony Simons, I think you got to go C. I don't think he's really that great of a point guard, 6'3", a little bit undersized. Terry Dischinger, I think you got to go B tier for his Galaxy Opal. Yes, he's not his Dark Matter lock-in card, but he's still got a good jump shot, good dribble sigs. He's just missing a couple key badges that really does hurt the card. Tyler Hansbrough is honestly just another Bob Nedelecki type of clone. I like Bob a little bit more because of his jump shot, but they're basically the same card, 6'9", but play really good defense in game. John Wall, I think you got to go B tier. I think he's kind of underrated at the point guard position. I would say he's like on the same level as a Crusoe, and maybe a little bit better than a Marcus Smart. I would take Evan Turner, Danny, you know, Gary Payton over him at the point guard position, and Matisse Thybulle as well, but I think you got to put John Wall in B tier. In B tier, James Wiseman, same tier as Eddie Curry, both amazing all-around centers. They have great stats, great badges, they're both tall, play really good defense, but their jump shots are just so hard to green, and overall super inconsistent of releases. And then the final budget card is going to be Christian Wood, who I will throw in the C tier category. So now we do have to move 2 of these budget cards from A tier into the S tier category. So let me know in the comment section down below, out of all of these budget cards in A, or maybe even B tier, let me know which 2 would you guys move up into the S tier spot to round off my top 5 budget cards in S. I think for me, first card is going to be Matisse Thybulle. I think he's so elite on the offensive end, and then he's so elite on the defensive end, and is still a very good offensive card. And then I'm going Detlef Schrempf. I think he's so nice at small forward. I did a gameplay on him a couple days ago on Friday when he did drop, and he was so fun to use. Overall, I think this is going to be my budget card tier list. I'm also going to move Darius Miles into the A tier category. And then I think I'm gonna leave it like this. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about my budget card tier list, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.